Hello everyone, Mrs. Gigi here, back today. It's Wednesday. It's at least almost 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, and that is when I usually go live. So what are we going for today? I have two things. There will be a little bit more crafting in this one, but then I started to do a little, to me it was, with doodly things in mind. Got inspired by a picture that I saw. So we will have to look into this one in a little bit. So doodles, Scentangle, or whatever you like to call it. It is really fun to do all of those things. Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm just gonna give you a little sneak peek, and I don't know if it is visible, but it's there. I just had a little think and sitting here drawing a thing or two. So we will do some Scentangle-y things with that in a bit. But first, I haven't really thought this one through quite yet. It's almost up to the point where I want to just put everything in here. Totally random. And that might be what I need. And we will have to look into it. I thought at one point that I wanted it to be a writing journal, or somewhere along the lines of like more regular journal like I normally do, but I feel it's going to be a little bit different than the other journals that I've made. So one thing, let's start, because we need things to dry. What wonderful things you are going. Yeah, I don't know, there is something down here, or at least I think I have it in a sort of a vision, which is one of the things that I always have. Not to say that it's ever going to in the end look like I visioned, because that could be something totally different in the end, and that is okay too. With creating, there are no wrong things, I would say. So that's why I want to just create. So glue, we need glue. We need, and I'm thinking now, lace. We are going to put lace in this one, and we need it to dry, so that's why we need to start with this one for today, and then put it aside, creating the fun part underneath here. Let's look into it. I was at one point thinking this might be a thing to use. It's pure white, but I will maybe darken it a little bit with ink. And then of course lace. I've kind of used up, and then I realized I have more. Create without limits, and that's what it's about. That is definitely what it's about. And I don't know, for those of you following along on Tuesdays, together with my friend Create with Becca, I talked yesterday about my love of creating paintings, like a big canvas. Hello Cindy, welcome. A big canvas and just throwing paint, and yeah, that's like freeing to me to do that. And that is definitely not any sort of planning process together with that, because throwing it, you have no clue where it will land. I was, let's see, I'm thinking that we could maybe combine these two. You know, there are so many thoughts in my head when creating. This is a little bit pinkish though. I don't know if it really shows, but it's pink. I'm not really 100% sure if I like it in here. Let's see. We will kind of prepare. It sounds like, yeah, it is. You know, you can be a famous, like whatever famous, but the fun part of it is maybe doing what if you write a book, if you make a painting, if you like the process. The process is the main thing, really. So let's see, we do have the ink that I was thinking, not purple, like I have quite a few of them here. And of course it's not, let's see, this might be nice, Dusty Concord. And yeah, Faded Jeans. This might be Stormy Sky. This is also Into the Blues, Tumbled Glass. And then just a tiniest bit, because there are, if you look into these, there are a little hint of pink in there. So I will use this spun sugar. About this one, are we going like that? You, I want to make your own wall in the bathroom. Throwing different kinds of, yeah, it's freeing. That's what it is. And yeah. It's a recommend for me for doing that. Hello, Barry. Thank you for stopping by. Really nice to have you here. Yeah, it is. I would say just try it, really, because you know it's one of those things. Let's see if we go with this ink first. Just going like this, really. And no, it is. I do see it in. It is just the tiniest bit of blue. We will go with a darker version too, I would say. But I do want to have it really light. Hello, Fabian. Welcome. Yeah. Let's see, just the tiniest bit of blue, and I will maybe have a close-up for you just to see. But I don't really want the blue to be too visible in a way either, so that's why I'm kind of doing this. Let's put a bit of glue down here. For those of you wondering, it's a Aleene's tacky glue. And, you know, I just do a refill on this one, so it looks horrendous, but it is good glue. Let's see, putting this one in. Going, let's see, what did we say? We had, I would say halfway somewhere here. I realized you're all into those kinds of things too, Fabian. You are. I used to do a lot of watercolor paintings and oils, and yeah, there was quite a lot of things. But the thing that I like the most now is just and I would say at this specific moment actually just glue, because you don't really have to think too much doing it. And then of course I have the thing down here which we are going to soon look at. So this is just, just put a little more tint of blue into this. And then the darker one. Hello, Carl. Welcome, welcome. So we'll put this one in. And yeah, it's somewhere along the line of back here. Oh, this one maybe? Let's see. Yeah, this one. So we're just going to do exactly the same thing, cutting it and gluing it in. The Santangly part, I've done quite a lot of Santangles things before, all different kinds of things. But for today, I had a little thought, and yeah, well, we will see. I don't know if I will finish it up because I kind of want to have it detailed, and with Santangles it can be very detailed or not so detailed, so we'll see. So these will be left to the side. So we're going on that direction there. Letting these dry, and then we will look further into that in a little bit. I'm actually just going to put it straight on the floor. That's what I usually do, realizing like, how in the world am I going to get out of here, or do I really want to? Maybe I'm just, you know, building some kind of wall here so that I can be in here forever. That would be preferable, but not really a thing that is doable, unfortunately. So we'll put those aside and then look into her. I don't know, is she visible? I realized when sitting here just before the stream, I wanted to create her. So that is what we will do. For those that are not really into artsy things and familiar with the word of Zentangle or doodle, it's just, you know, creating, doing all sorts of patterns and things. So that is what we will do, and I will for this one use, and look at it, I have 3 of these, and to be totally honest, I don't know if any of them work, but we will figure out that thing. Stabilo 0.88, fine liner, it's 0.4, so yeah, it is really fine. But we will look into create her. I'm actually just going to test this is black. I'm not sure I want to have her like really black in color, maybe more into the gray, but we will see. And to start with, it's just a matter of creating the little tiny borders of things. And the beauty of these things, you don't really have to think too much doing it. It's just in the moment kind of thing. I did feel when creating this that I needed some sort of background. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. But I would definitely say it needs maybe blue, or maybe, yeah, some sort of something. And then her hair will be all centangly. Not really meant to be like a proper picture in the sense of recognizable for anything. But it's going to be a lady. Putting her eye up here. And then we have the hair, and that's where the flow comes into place, and all these entangly bits. So let's just start maybe with a lock of hair like this. And let's see. We'll have some sort of a pattern. Let's figure this one out. Are we going just what about just crisscross like this? And then it's just a matter of adding lines, really. And there are, of course, when thinking centangle, there are rules, but I'm not into all of those things. I just create because it's fun. So, you know, that's what I do. It's meant to be all kinds of patterns, though. That's the main thing. It can also be all kinds of colors combined. And the fun part of it all might just be that the whole thing grows into something that is the creation in itself. So we are thinking, what are we doing here? We're going to paint this one in like pitch black. With the, yeah, we will change that one to a marker. Sorry for the reach here. Of course, I have all the things further up. This one, Posca, that is at 0.9. This one, I wonder which one. It's a bullet shaped one. I do have the one that I'm looking for. Of course, not here, is it? A thinner one. If I can reach it, it's somewhere deep down. I know it is. I know I have it there. outline. And do it all the way down across like this. Further down. Making this part here darker. And what else? What else are we going for? Are we going for smaller little patterns here maybe? Like circles? So it's just a matter of coming up with all kinds of things really. You can learn about all of these, like different patterns and different styles too. Yet again, no, I'm just doing it. So no rules here. For this one, I will do a little, kind of the same. Just adding in small little circles or whatever you like to call them. One thing though that I think like if you want to try this out is that art could be whatever really, and if you're not pleased with the end result, just paint something else over it. You can always do that, or tear it apart and create something with the paper. I've done that several times. It's actually kind of fun creating a thing and then just look at it and then tear it apart and just create something else. That's really fun. And it's not always that you kind of feel pleased with what you've done. And that is not why I tear things apart. I tear things apart because I feel like I need to sometimes, and I feel like it's fun. Just, I know it's not really fun to look at. Hello, Pop, welcome in. I know it's not really fun to look at, but I could literally just sit here ripping paper all day long. I don't know what it is, but I feel it's really fun doing that. Or, yeah, I don't know. So here we go, filling this whole area with small little circles. Going up here again with this. And close it there, doing the same thing here. Let's see, this is a 0.7. The other pen that I'm using is 0.4. So it's, you know, a little bit of a difference, but not much. Let's see, do a tiny bit of another twist. So of course we have something we have to figure out along the way there. Circles. Where are we going with this? Yeah, where are we going? As you see here, we'll have to figure it out quite well because I need to cover up a thing or two. Are we going totally blank? No, I'm thinking, let's see, somewhere along these things might be nice. almost like peacock type things here. Going with the final pen. Yet again, one of those a little bit more relaxing type art things, like the other day, or the last week actually, when I created the diamond painting thing. I feel sometimes, let's twist the thing here and put one of those peacocky feathery things in here too. To make them a little bit thicker. Yeah, so to me, my art process is also not just creating, it's also a way of for me to just be me for a little bit. Just adding these in and maybe twist it like this. And here we go. So I am, like I told you, thinking about adding colors in the background. I'm not too sure about anything else though. Let's see, what am I thinking with her? We need some sort of something going on there. Might be good. Should I go just across? I think so. We could go with let's think, maybe just filling it in with more black in a sense, and let's see. Going in like this first. More like a circular type thing. So as you can see, it's just a matter of being able to come up with all of these kinds of patterns. Going all the way down here, and yet again change up the lines a little bit. So one thing that I could say, don't be afraid of trying, because it's freeing to create. I've been doing all kinds of creative things throughout my life, I would say. When it comes to these type of things, and I was about to say that I'm not a teacher, which I am, but not in this specific situation. Hello, Paul. Thank you for being here. No, I'm not a teacher when it comes to these things, but yeah, it's I tend to just look at others creating, being inspired. That's the beauty of it all. We are going with a finer pen again, going further down. Let's see, her ear is not really visible here, but yeah, let's think. We'll have to go something like this, and then another one here. So yet again, a little bit more black added, I would say. Let's go here like that. And for this one, what are we going with? It is, let's see what this is all about. And there. We'll meet up in the end there. And again, some lines, maybe dots, maybe. Well, let's go with tiny, tiny, tiny. Really close together. So this is what it is, creating. And it might be that it's my patient that needs training. I don't know. Oh, thank you so much. It might be that. There are so many things in this world, I would say. I'm stumbled like upon all of the things with me working in schools and thinking like with the kids. I don't know if you agree with me to maybe to a certain point, but when kids are babies and up to, and I would say maybe the age of 1.5, not 2, but one, somewhere in between 1.5 and 2. That's where the real you. That's the real you, because from the age of, yeah, let's say 2, you get influenced. You get all kinds of yeah, like I don't even know, like you get influenced by everything around you. That's what it is. You good or bad, maybe not bad all the time, but yeah, and of course at that time range your personality will develop as well, but up to that point, like yeah, I've been thinking about it quite a bit, and we have actually discussed it at work too, but and then I think in some ways there are the age of between 2 and 3 where your personality actually blooms quite a bit. That's where, yeah, you have to the point, like be really careful with the kids. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to me it's quite important to not I would say to guide children. Yeah, that went kind of deep, but that is my thought on that. Like you want to guide, but not really influence them to a point where they get harmed. That's like you'll never know. It's a fine line. And because I'm working with younger kids, it is definitely a fine line to me. Definitely. Um, let's see, what's with you? Do you not want to work anymore? Let's. There, of course. Let's go into a little bit darker on the edges there. Let's see, of course, I don't want to have too much ink. We will twist the whole thing around, which is kind of interesting sometimes, but it's easier to create, maybe actually seeing all different kinds of shapes too. Do we want to have that thicker, maybe like even like really thick? That might be actually nice. Let's try it. Let's try it out just for the fun of it. We are going on this one. So as you can see, you can take however much time you need on this. It's an interesting theory. I don't know. It's my own thoughts. It's not really. Yeah, like I told you, Lynn, we have been speaking about it quite a lot, especially as teachers. We are not really raising the kids. We are just there to support and guide them. The parents are the ones that raise them. So it's a fine line. It is definitely a fine line when it comes to these kinds of things. Let's see, just doing like that for this one. It is relaxing. It really is. It can also be yeah, annoying for some. I know that. It was for me in the beginning. I had to learn doing these kind of things. I did. It's a learning curve. Let's see. Do I want to have? I think I want to have just yet another one. And to me, creating all of these kinds of things, it's a never-ending story. I tend to go in and add things with everything. Patience is what comes up in my mind, and we're like, yeah, it might be. Yeah, it is definitely. It's a nice thing though, if you like these sorts of things. And yet again, like I told you before, I am all into ripping paper too. So, it's a little bit of a different thing when it comes to those type things there. And what are we going to fill this area with? And now I feel I need to figure that out, of course. And we are going with, let's see, do we want to have her long hair for her? If so, we are going to just maybe add another area here. Yep, let's do that. What do we want to have in that area though? Yet again, more black maybe? Or is it that we are going to create, oh no, we did that. I don't want to have circles too close to each other. That's just me, but that might be one thing. I am going to create, but I definitely, let's see, let's look into this. You need one separate little area there. And with that one, let's see if this works. I am thinking, yet again, just tiniest dots like this. Similar, but not again really. So lines and dots and circles and you know, like you can do whatever, but going like this. One over here. We are going to use the finer liner here, creating two circles around. And then more circles. Almost the same, but not. And that might be the beauty of it all. All things you do are kind of similar to each other, and sometimes you actually challenge yourself, which could be a good thing. Maybe something you need. And for those of you who know me, those of you in the crafting community that's been with this journey of mine for several years, know that yes, there are quite a lot of things that has been challenging in my life. Just saying. So we definitely need to kind of fill this up somehow with something else. Maybe a little dot. Let's put one there and one over here. And then go just closing this area up. So it's an ongoing pattern game in a sense. What can we come up with in terms of different kinds of patterns to fully create this thing? Are we going spikes? We are, and we are. I think I want to leave, let's see, going like this for this one though, because we know that will be, and this one Haven't quite figured out exactly what I want to do with the areas there, but we do need to have something spiky. And are we going? Let's see. I'm actually thinking now here, because her hair will flow down her, like down here. And let's see, somewhere along these lines, maybe like that, and going like this. And add in a little bit of something in between, and it's going to be small little dots. One in here, just adding in. I will actually show you a close-up because these small little dots are tiny, so I don't know if they are visible on camera, like this. Now when it comes to these parts here, they are, but probably, but like that, and go further down, all the way down with all of them. And then these last ones here. So I don't know if you can see that, but there are small little dots all across. So we are going with a little, let's see, what I'm going with this pen for this one, because I'm not really sure if I want to have like a circular thing like that, or even smaller. Yeah, we'll just leave it like a curl, like that. So we are outlining this again. I feel it needs to be darker. Some of them will be and some will not. Let's see. So going it again all the way down to her hairy part. Well, all of this is her hair, but you know, that's more visible with these kind of curly things going on. I don't think I have, or I had a person in here, so that might be. If that was what you heard. There are actually people in here in the room sometimes when I do lives. And the great thing about that is that we know sign language in this family, so we do use that sometimes. The notification sounds, no, I don't know about those. I don't like them. Let's just say that. Yeah. That's another thing. I used to have those on like for everything. Every little thing of whatever. It stressed me out to a point where I was totally without. No, now I'm lying. The only technology thing that I used was my email at work because I had to. Other than that, no phone, no computer thingy at home, no nothing. I couldn't handle it, so I just put all of those things away for a year, and it was freeing. And who am I now? Back on it again. I don't know what happened there, but have you been blocked? I don't know if that is true. I don't know if that is true. Hello, Shaz. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's really nice to have you here. So, let's see. What else? What else are we going to come up with here? Going in, let's see. Are we just going to, I'm thinking, do I want to have her ear show just the tiniest maybe over here or not? I definitely know that I will have just the tiniest little area here with a totally different kind of pattern, and maybe some flowers. Do we need to add flowers to her hair? Rain. Didn't you say you had a lot of snow the other day, Barry? I don't know, or maybe I kind of missed out on the parts of the information. Let's see. We are going to maybe add this in here and create like that. And let's look into what to do. Want to have these like in threes, like or I definitely feel I want to have like a tiny little one like this. So this little area will be something totally different. Let's see. Are we going dots? Are we going dots or circles? Like proper circles. I love circles. I don't know if any of you know. Any of you in the chat like right now. Circles are like hugs. That's what I always say. So that's why I like them. And we are going more in a rectangular shape, are we? Actually just going like totally basic. Like that. And maybe like half of this area, and doing it in different kinds. Let's see. Every other. So when doing these kinds of things, depending on how many areas you want to fill in, you know, it could do like the whole thing in one. But depending on what you want to do, you need to come up with quite a few pieces of patterns. So let's look into another little swirly thing like this. And now I can hear another person come, maybe standing outside the door. Probably one of the kids. Because they are all like into like, am I allowed in here when you're alive? And of course they are always allowed in here. They can, like I say, they can borrow whatever they like in here, but put it back, please. That's the thing. Do they do that? No, not too much. Definitely not. Let's make another one here. Do we just want to have it that small? No, of course not. Like that. I'm thinking I need like a swirl, a bigger one of some sort. Bigger one of some sort. And yet again, the area in here. Do we need to have it? Yeah. Let's see. Music related, maybe. Let's see if we can manage to do that. No, yeah, we will manage to do that here on this one. Music related because I love music. So with that, like that. And let's see, what are we going for here? We are going with 1. We need to fill these in. And yet again, create another pattern. Really nice to have you in here, Gator, and congratulations. I've heard all over. I've heard all over. It's really high. It's really nice to have a little newborn, even though it could actually be challenging, but you know, they are cute. We were going like this yet again. Usually I sing with some you know, main things happening, but with the birth of a child, I don't know. You're typing at the moment. Yeah, Taiwanese, that is. And you know, it's totally okay. We will probably figure out along the line whatever you're trying to tell us. A cute little guy. That's nice to know, Gator. So, piano, that is. Or at least it's, you know, somewhat of a something. Going all the way across there. So what else are we going for? Are we actually going for painting her? Like you know, I was thinking, no, we are not going to paint her. The one thing though that I felt, we need to make these lines, some of them thicker. Going only on those, I would say diagonal, but you know, all of them are in a sense, but the main ones. So we are only doing this because we need to let the other things dry. And because I just felt I needed a little bit of a relaxing time and maybe, you know, trying to figure out a thing or two. And thank you so much, Gator. It's really appreciated. And then the last one down here, I would say. So her Vavy, hey, what are we going to do with you? We are going to create some sort of something. I can, you know, there are, let's see, let's go with the regular pen first because I don't really want to destroy anything, do I? And just going further up like that and maybe like that. Just adding in, that's what we needed to do. And yet again, we created a little bit of some little areas that might be filled in with something. Not necessarily though. And down here, going further like that and up. So this is what I do. And I would definitely say this will not be finished today. I'm not aiming for anything like that. I just felt I needed to start it out. So that is what it is. I am now thinking, but that might be next week or Saturday or whenever I feel like it. I think I want to add something here, something 3D. So we'll probably do that. But as you can see, you know, there will be a flow on her, like on her hair here and further down here a little bit. And yeah, I would probably go a light tint of blue in the back. Of course, I could have added that to start with, but who am I? You know, it's the creative process and it told me, like, now, yeah, we will go with that. So let's put this aside again for a little bit and look further into the things that we have been gluing. And I am actually going to create some sort of journaling thing today. I haven't really done that in quite a while. And I feel like today is the day. Today is the day we need it. These are really big. So we need to cut them down. We're going to just cut them down lengthwise. Let's try it out. We're going to look into rounding the corners here at the bottom. And of course, I am going to save this one to create a tiny tag. Because you'll never know when you need a little tiny tag in its manila folder. And that, I don't know what it is, but we don't have it here in Sweden. It is really strange, I know. Yeah, but we don't have it. So I tend to just save up on these. Where do I have a little puncher? I need a little tiny hole in there. Let's see if I can reach it. I have things available everywhere. And the corner rounder. Are we going small? Let's try it out first. No, I'm thinking the bigger one would be preferable on this thing. There we have it. Let's do something. And with all of these, there are quite a lot of them that only needs kind of backing, but of course you can create whatever you like with these. So I am thinking probably something like this. Let's put that aside for a bit. Tearing paper I see in this one with using this part. Or maybe this, an old letter. Yeah, that might be it. And then you can of course go with full on whatever you like in terms of fabric and things like that, but we are not. So let's see, we need this one. Let's just tear it like this first. And yes, I am going to ink for those of you that don't like that, don't look. It's one of those things, either you do or either you don't. Am I going T-line? I am. Or maybe it's one of those things like inking is part of the process. Let's see. When tearing, if you want to have the picture show better, you tear things towards yourself. If you want the white part of the page, like you can see, literally, like there are white here. The edges are way more white. So tearing towards yourself creates the pattern show. The other way around is white. So are we going blue? I usually use vintage photo, but there are quite a bit of blue in here. I forgot about that. Let's see if we could go Stormy Sky on this one. And yes, I am going to save up on this piece just for this specific project. I do not usually do that, but you know how it is. I will glue, of course. The best thing to do here and for this thing is just to add glue like this. Spread it with something. You can go however you like. But I will go with this palette knife just because it's easier and you don't need much. And I don't know. Do I need more than on the edge? Let's figure it out. We need to cut this out first. This is going to be cut because it won't really show the edges too well, so I don't mind. Let's see if we go like that with that one and the other one. Yep, that will do. We will cover the whole thing just because we can. And then just like this. The butter knife might be a thing to use too, but in this instance I have this palette knife, but a butter knife would definitely do. We need more glue. It's really sticky, so you don't really need too much of this, but you need to have it covered. And all the way down. So let's see. We're going to cut a little bit and figure this one out. We are going to put you like that. Depending on the paper quality, I would say it's a warp, and yep, it is for this one. The paper warping, but it will flatten when it's done. Or I will just put a heavy thing on here to flatten it a little bit. We are going with the tiniest bit of this ink, Stormy Sky. Just turn in the blue, and yes, of course, usually I just go straight on with this, but you can do it with these too if you like. Might be easier sometimes I don't. Just like that, putting this one in, and of course straight on the project like that. We are going to cut it out. Add ink, more ink, the more the merrier. So let's cut it out. At least we've done something when it comes to the journal. I've realized too that I said in the beginning it's going to be my winter journal. I'm not necessarily 100% into that anymore. It might be a thing that I kind of create a little by little throughout, because I kind of find it really nice. All these kinds of things that go with the journal and thing, the ephemera pieces. So let's look into this. It's something along these lines now, and we need more ink to cover it up. We definitely need a little bit more glue. And texture, as in these kinds of bubbles for this thing, I don't really mind. sometimes it's important, but for this one I don't really mind at all. Let's use the cheap glue like I told you, for those of you that are wondering yesterday. This, let's go there, adding in like that, and let's look into what more to add. We had something on this page, did we? These three, let's cut them out. So when creating something like this, it's just a matter of trying. Actually, see this lace, these are quite nice too. They could be something that could be added in. I like that letter, that would be a thing to use. It goes with that, the actual letter itself, maybe to somebody. And for those that know me, I know I love words, I love quotes. So let's see if we have anything in here that I like. I know there are quite a few. Whenever you are creating beauty around you, you are restoring your own soul. Oh, that was deep, but in a way it's true. That is definitely true. Let's see, library cards, all kinds of these. Let's look into these. I don't want to cover too much of it, and we will have to choose one of these. Always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder. I do like this one though. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. Let's take that one. So we'll cut that one out and use it. So I would say with this thing, it's the first little ephemera piece that I've actually created for the journal, and I will also just glue in straight in. Let's see how to cut this up though, because it's way too long for the actual thing here. Do I want to cover, let's see, for there is light, and there is a puncture there like this. If only we were brave enough to see it. Is that, yeah, that is the right size to me. Yeah, I need to kind of cut this one down because it's, I don't like that it's too blue up on the upper part of this. Like that. Cutting the other thing around too. And the last bit here. Ink, we need ink. Let's go with the smaller little plier for this one. and on this little letter. And the beauty with using ink like this is that you can hide whatever you did try when cutting things out. You know, sometimes things are way too much detailed for you to even bother to cut things out properly, and the beauty of the ink kind of hides it. So yeah, it's really good to have it all the way around. And the other one. Going yet again on the edge. And it does give a little effect, but not really too much. And that's what I'm kind of in for this specific thing. And yes, I've used this one for purple too, for those of you wondering. It's just one of those things that happens. Yet again, not really thinking about too much in this process of creating, just gluing it in like that. For there is, let's see, something along the lines of, yeah, something like that. Let's figure it out together, we'll say. That's what it is. There. And I don't really mind, you can put it on as straight as possible, or you know, as crooked as possible, or when whatever angle. I don't really mind at all. Let's just put it in so that it fits. That's the thing though. And there we have it. Are we finished? What do you, yeah, I don't know. Are we not? Do we want to put any like thing here on top? Maybe a little tab of some sort. Do we have that? And of course I have all kinds of things, but do we really want to use, like, let's see, the upper part of this one maybe. And I'm going to use my tiny attacher from Tim Holtz with doing this. Just like that. So, I finally did it. I started the creative process with going to put things in the journal that we are making. And of course with the girl, we will have to look further into her another day. This is the first piece of ephemera. Let's see where to put you. Where are you going? Maybe here? I don't know. We'll just put it in there. So there it is. A little bit of everything and a whole ramble session of nothing. But that was it. So I hope you enjoyed, and yes, it will be a really fun one next time, I would say. If you are not all informed by what we and my friend Create with Becca are doing on Tuesdays, it is a little bit of a funny project, a yearly project with color theory, or whatever you like to call it. We use a color palette and a prompt to create something once a week. Tuesdays 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Usually I go Eastern Standard here on my channel, but we are over at Create with Becca. So that's why we have Central Time for her. And I will be back as usual with all kinds of things. And probably this weekend, or of course Wednesday next week, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time here on my own channel. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Bye.